And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing or looking at Transport Fever and the modding process of Transport Fever. In today's episode, we're looking at how to edit mods to sort of tweak the values and get kind of what you want. So the mods that you subscribe to the workshop for Transport Fever are located in the C drive, program files, Steam apps, workshop content, and then the app ID for Transport Fever is 446800. So if you go into that 446800, all of your subscribed mods are in there. Now they all have IDs, and there's no real way at a glance to see which ones are which. So if you look at each individual one, you'll see the preview image, and this will give you an idea of what the mod is. So this shows, this is the Flirt, this is the Trax Plus, and you can just go down. Here's the red, that Super Flirt that I have, and these are just the mods. And this right here, I believe, is the Freight Airport mod. And if we go down to this one is the NSB engines, and one of those engines, or actually all of them, I tweaked. But you get in there and you can see, okay, this, if I want to edit this mod here, and the NSB, the red one, is the one that I edited to be a really good engine. So if you go into the resource folder, you go into models, and then you go to model, and then vehicle, train. You can either edit this one or this one. And this one has the gray model, the one with the photo on the side, and the red one. So if we go to this one, and if we open it up, we get this file right here. And this file is the model definition, which shows all of the different parameters, the bogies, all of the different things. And if you want to edit them, you can come down here, the metadata here, rail vehicle engines, and this is where you can edit the power of the engine, and the tractive effort, and the top speed, and the weight of the engine itself. The top speed, these are listed in kilometers an hour. So, you know, set it to whatever you want for kilometers an hour. And then the game, if you select miles an hour in the game, it will auto convert that. And go down here to availability. This determines what year it's available. Year 2, 0 means it will never go away. It will always be available to build. Now the cost and the maintenance here, these are either set values or they're set as -1. And a -1 value in your cost or your maintenance will set the game to auto calculate what these costs are based on the vehicle's stats. So if I were to set this price to -1 while having a super high engine top speed and power and tractive effort, the cost of this might be extreme. So I have it set right now to 15 million, and the running cost at 400,000. So, you know, this is a way to, you know, either set the cost or make it auto. What am I thinking of? Auto calculate. So if we go through here, if we go to other mods, if we look at some of these, here's the Citaro. And if you go through here, you go to models, model, vehicles, bus, and here are the two Citaros. So if we open up these, this is the Citaro C. And if we go through and if you look at all of the different things in here, so here's your top speed, again in kilometers an hour, weight, your power, tractive effort, and then your cargo capacity. And don't worry about all of this. This is just different groups inside. Right here is where you want your passengers, your capacity, and your 200. Now, here's the quirk with capacity. For some reason, the game, when it's showing you the capacity inside the game, it takes this number and divides it by 4. So in the game, as you know, the Sataros have a capacity of 50 passengers. Well, it's a set of 200 in the file. So that's what you have to do. You have to say, okay, how much capacity do I want? Multiply that by 4, and that's your capacity in the file itself. And if we go down further, you can see the cost here I have as -1. So with that higher capacity, it's going to cost me a lot more. But the running costs I set, because with that higher capacity, the running costs would be so high that it would never be able to make any money. And I think, somebody's driving a bus around, typical maintenance and gas for a bus, I'm thinking $100,000 a year is a pretty substantial amount of money to run a bus. So I hard set the maintenance. If we go to the G variant, this thing, I have pretty much the same, a little bit more power, and the passenger capacity is 400. So in game, it would be a 100 capacity. And the rest of this, I have $150,000 for my running costs in here. And year 2, this is actually commented out. You can see these little dashes. These are comments. So this one would never expire either. And if we go to other mods that I've gone through here, some of these are maps. This is a logo. This is the TGV variant. This is one of the trams that I've subscribed to. This is the DMA mod for stations. Another map. This is the fancy passenger terminal. That's another map. There's the production increase on the industries. That's a flat map pack. This is, I think, the Westeros map pack here. So here is, let's see, which one is this one back here? This is the curved roads. That's the one that the devs just did. But here is that fancy, bigger cargo plane that I have. So let's take a peek at that. I actually went through and modded this one as well. So this is the 747 cargo plane. And if we go down through here, I didn't mess with really the performance at all. But this is a more complicated file because of all of the weird things that a plane has to do. So if we get down here to, wow, this is a big file here. This is the landing gear retract. There we go. So here are the data. This is the data for the vehicle, and I didn't tweak any of these. The thrust, the weight, the payload, anything like that. I didn't edit any of that. The price is set to $50 million. The running costs are set to $250,000 a year. And here are the capacities for all of the goods and general industry materials. And again, these are 4 times higher than what is shown in the game. So the capacity in game is 200. So 200 times 4 is 800. So that's why all of the capacities are set in there. So that gives you an idea of how to run or edit different things in your mod. So you can kind of customize it. And the last one I want to take a peek at is the edit that I did to the track to get it to not lower the speed so much when you curve it. It still will lower, but there's a lot more tolerance. And that's from this file. I think it's this last one here that is the fastest. So let's go in here. And if you look, there's a whole lot of calculations in here. And this one right here, speed coefficients, this is the one I edited. So let's take a look at one that I didn't edit and take a look at what the values are more or less by default. So here is the here's the coefficients, and it's a 0.9, 0.63. This will determine how much speed is bled off when it's curving. And so I just set the two outsides to 1. So that way there's a lot less bleed off of the speed, because we're talking about huge distances involved here. And I didn't want the speed to bleed off so terribly much. It does, you get a curve tight enough and it will lower the speed, but there's a lot more tolerance for that as well. So that shows the edit there that I did for the speed coefficients. Just 1, 15, and 1 will give you a lot better use of that. So let's hop in the game and I'll show how to add or remove mods from an existing save game, and that will wrap up this episode. So I'll be right back. All right, and we're back in the game. So from this menu here, if you go to load game, and here are all your saved games. In YouTube Westeros, this is the one that I have been playing on this playthrough. And if you go down to this plus sign right here, this will allow you to move mods around. Now, I would recommend, once you start playing with a mod, do not remove it. That is just something that might seem obvious, but once you start playing with a mod, enough changes in the back end where, yes, you probably could remove it, but see, removing the tracks plus will likely cause the game to crash. And the only reason it's giving me that warning is there's a flag inside the mod file itself that tells me that. It's not the game auto-detecting anything. So just be aware that, these errors in here are not set in stone. So this gives you an idea of all of the mods that I have loaded in this game. So let's cover them one by one. Freight airports, that's the one I've been using to truck around freight. The NSB L18, that is those red awesome engines that I've been using. This is the Flirt, the TGV I don't actually build with. The production increases, that goes towards the industries. It just makes industries a little bit better. The Trax Rules Plus, this is all of the new track that I've been using. The Industrial Tycoon, that actually enables the building of my own custom industries. That's my logo, Flexible Games logo. That's the one I use in the game. There's the Citaro. This is the Citatus. That is a tram. The railway station is that sweet looking railway station that I never get to build because they're always already built by the time we are in the game. There's the red super awesome Stadler Flirt. There's the DMA road stations. Now this is available for download. If you look on the forums, it's not in the workshop anymore, but there is an effort to bring this one back in various forms. There was a problem with the one that was posted on the workshop. The curved train stations, this is the one that the mod developers themselves added, and there's the Boeing 747 cargo variant. So there is all of the mods that I've had installed on this game, and some of those I have tweaked, some of those I have edited. And again, if you want to edit either game files or mods, you just find the files that you want to edit inside the directory and you should be good to go. So, some things like editing the Freightliner end game truck, I went in and just loaded up the game files and tweaked the cargo capacity of that. So not too bad, but again, all of these mods, went a long ways to help play the game. So that is a look at the mods in the game, how to tweak them to whatever you want to do and get the most fun and flexibility out of your play experience as possible. So that'll wrap up this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.